Hello, how are you? My name is Diego. I'm a teacher in a film school. I'm a filmmaker and I'm the writer of this book, Writing for Short Films. With these videos, I want to give you some clues about how to write a short film that it will sell properly, it will go to festivals properly, and it will be successful. I have made some shorts, some were successful, some not, so I want you to learn from my experience with my works, but also with experience in the school, I mean, with all the works from my students, some of them very successful, yes. So I will give you a list of ingredients in order to make a nice short, yes, and the most important one will be the last one. I will tell it to you in the end, yes. Okay, so the first ingredient I want to mention is know your weapons. What does it mean, know your weapons? Try to know what are the best things that you could add, you could put in your film. For instance, imagine that you are in a place like this, so beautiful, as here this park, the park of Stromovka in Prague, Czech Republic. And so, yeah, if you have this park like this here, so of course this could be a good element for your story. Maybe one of your best friends is a great actor, a great actress, so of course you could have in mind him, her for your story. Maybe one of your friends or you yourself is very good in photography, so then you can stress the photography aspect in your film. This is what I call know your weapons. Drama is important, but also it's very important how you could later sell this film, supposing that, of course, that it will be, I believe that it will be good. Okay. Also, a similar concept of know your weapons is be careful with the budget, especially if you are making a short film or a first feature film that you are producing it yourself or with a producer who is beginning. Try that the budget is kind of small, so meaning that you have few characters, that you have few locations, that there is nothing crazy there, so this way it will be easier for you to make this film. Another ingredient is simplicity. Okay, try to have a simple, clear plot. Okay, I have many students, and some of them are young, some are very young, yes. And sometimes one of the problems we have is what I call, sorry for this, the teenage masturbation. Okay, what does it mean? It means that in our first years in filmmaking, we want to tell a lot. We want to tell too much sometimes, okay? And then we try to change the world in 5 minutes, yes? And because of this, we make too complex films. And because of this, the result is not interesting, but it's just confusing, okay? So try that your film is simple, okay? It doesn't mean that it shouldn't be deep. I mean, I want your films to be deep, yes? And we will talk another day about this, about making meaningful films. This is very important. But on the surface, these films have to be clear, have to be simple. Audience should be able to understand them. This is key. When audience don't understand the films, is not their problem, it is our problem as writers and directors. So be careful with this. Okay. Another element is familiarity. Familiarity, what does it mean? That the audience will kind of recognize, let's say, the situation that they have in front of them. Yes, it could be, of course, through science fiction. It doesn't matter, but again, just try that they feel somehow familiar. Yes. On the other hand, also we should try that our film, although it's familiar, that brings something new. Okay, it could be a new kind of romance, a new kind of science fiction, a new kind of whatever, family, Christmas, portrait, disaster, okay, Halloween, yes, but then yes, and try not to imitate, to replicate what it was made in the past, but again, try to come with something new. The audience will appreciate it very much. So just be aware of this. Another element, it's called zeitgeist. What does it mean, zeitgeist? Zeitgeist is the spirit of the times. Zeitgeist, I mean, it would be great if our film might be the instrument of the worries of a group of people. Let's say that they can be identified and they can be touched and they can be again represented in this with our work. Zeitgeist doesn't mean that our films they have to be kind of serious. They can be comedies. There is a wonderful Italian film, a feature film called Perfect Strangers. Yes, they have. It's a recent film, but they have already made like 5 or 6 remakes in different countries. So in this film, for instance, they talk about the influence of technology in our lives. Okay, the plot is very simple. It's about 8 friends that they meet for dinner, and then they decide to put all their telephones in the middle of the table, and every time somebody will call or will receive a message, yes, these people will act with the person who is calling as if they were alone. Okay, so it's about all the traps, let's say, that technology is bringing us, and then of course it becomes a disaster, this dinner, but but the film is very human, it's very funny, yes, it's a great film. So it talks again about the influence of technology in our lives. Okay, zeitgeist. It's great, or it would be great, if our film talks about some topic that not so many people have talked before. Okay, if we talk about a topic, a subject that, let's say, everybody's talking already, it would not be so exciting. Okay, so it would be great if, besides being spokesman, thanks to the zeitgeist, we can be kind of pioneers. Okay, again, talking about some topic that nobody talked previously, or not so many people talked previously about it. Okay, zeitgeist. This is beautiful. Another element, blood. Blood doesn't mean physical blood. It means give energy, life, blood to your story. Again, I don't mean put any killing. No, I don't mean that. But this advice is especially dedicated. I mean, a lot of people who work on this area, or who start to work on this area, like me, in the beginning we are kind of a bit melancholical people, bit sad people, yes, and then sometimes we tend to make our characters also a bit sad, a bit melancholical, kind of low-blooded. Okay, so because of this, the films normally are a bit boring. Okay, so my advice is try. I mean, we'll talk soon about characters, but my advice is this. Okay, try that your films have blood, have life, have energy. Okay, this is important. Okay, so we are approaching the last element that I told you before, that is the most important. But before, I will mention another one, that it's what I called truth. Truth is a very vague element, but I think is also very important. It's just we should believe what we see in the film. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a realistic film, if it's science fiction, if it's a fairy tale, if it's whatever, yes. But what is important is that inside the rules of this film, we believe it. As an example of non very credible story or film, I saw recently, I have seen Crimson Peak by Guillermo del Toro. It's a feast related photography, art. I mean, it's costumes. It's wonderful. However, the script is not perfect. Let's say like this: it's not perfect. It has a lot of flaws. Yes, and one of them is that there are many situations where we don't believe what's going on. So just be aware of this. If our film is full of moments, let's say, that we don't believe, that they don't feel credible, so it will be weak. So just again, be aware of this. Yes. And now we are reaching the last element. Yes. So the last element is, as I told you, maybe the most important. Yes. Now I have the sun in my back, so I don't know if you can see me properly. It's important. It's more important if you hear me properly. So the last ingredient that will make your film powerful, a lot of marketability, with a lot of followers, yes, is that you are crazy about it. Okay, is that you want to tell this story. Okay, if you have fire, if you have passion for it, this is key. If you are not convinced about it, if you don't have the need to tell it, if you don't just can't wait to show it to the world, then nobody will be. So I mean, if you are crazy about your film, people will feel it. I mean, you should prepare it properly, you should shoot it properly, but then inside it, it will be your this fire, let's say, that you wanted to spread to the world. Okay, so just don't be passionless, don't be lazy, yes, and start now to write your short story. Yes. So okay, I hope these advices, let's say, will be useful. Yes, and that you start to write your short film. Okay. So, best regards, and I will post a new video soon. Okay. And if you want, I'm giving some lectures in internet, so I'll give you down the link to my lectures and also to my short films. Yes, so you can watch them, and that's all. So in 2 or 3 weeks I will post another video. So thank you, see you, bye bye.